Why you take rejection so personally? I want to start with a personal story and then get to some of the reasons that I've always taken rejection so personally. Good Lord, I've always taken rejection way too personally. And you know when you know something about yourself without even knowing how other people react to it. I think rejection does have a level of hurting any normal person, but I just know with myself that I always took it a little bit more personally than other people would, and it took a lot longer and it was a lot harder for me to get over it, especially romantically. I am specifically talking about like romantically being rejected, and I'm currently going through a heartbreak of a relationship that didn't even happen. But this is not the first time that I'm going through a heartbreak of a relationship that didn't happen, or a relationship that wasn't really labeled as a relationship. In another episode, I've mentioned before that I've been in a quote unquote relationship with guys who never really wanted to clarify whether we're in a relationship or not, with guys who never really said I was, his girlfriend and that he was my boyfriend. It was a weird relationship where it kept going until it just kind of ended. Or if I pressed on the matter of like, what am I to you? What are we to each other? He'd sort of like ghost me or just like, dismiss the situation or disregard the question. And so this feeling of being heartbroken by a relationship that didn't even happen is not new to me. Except for this one, it really, really didn't even happen. It's not like I was in a relationship with this guy whereby he didn't want to like be exclusive or didn't want to put a label on it. No, no, no. There was no sort of any romantic relationship. There was nothing. He didn't approach me, he didn't say he liked me. We just know each other and we're sort of like becoming friends because we see each other through a common activity. So every now and again we got to see each other. Super sweet guy. He didn't really seem interested, you know? And so I've just been battling with my feelings for the past couple of weeks since I've known him. I think months maybe now. So I've just been like battling with that because when I like someone, I did mention this in another episode that I tend to get obsessive and I just think about that person and I want to get that person to like me. But since we are growing, yes, we are growing, there is growth. I no longer try as hard to get someone to be interested in me because in my early 20s, whew, I did the most. I really would do the most for a guy to like me, to see me, like just to get his attention. But now I am pulling back and I'm growing and I'm restraining myself in terms of doing all of that. If a guy is interested in me, he should just be able to figure that out himself and make a move. And where I'm at right now in my stage in life, I 100% believe that a guy should totally be the one to make the first move. You know why? Because multiple times I have made the first move and it has just never worked out for me. So, no, I'm not going to keep doing the same thing expecting different results. I am not insane. So from now on, I want him to make the move. I want to be chased. I want to be pursued. Yes, let's take it back to the old way. I want to be chased. I want to be pursued. I want the guy to make the first move. And so I've just been trying to restrain myself to not try to bait this guy, to not try to throw charm into the sea and see if he catches it. I've just been trying to hold back. And in the midst of that, we obviously had to chat every now and again, obviously, when I would see him in person or on WhatsApp. Now, this is where the heartbreaking starts. So, this guy has never said anything in the lines of being interested in me or anything romantic or anything like that. And I was starting to make peace with that, I was starting to make peace with the fact that he might not be interested. So, I was restraining myself in like not trying to bait him, not trying to get his attention, not being obsessive over the idea I already had in my head of him and I being in a relationship. I tried to restrain myself. So I was also just keeping it friendly, talking to him, whenever necessary, not trying to push my luck or, seeming like I'm trying to get him to like me. I don't know. I don't even think he even saw or realized that I liked him. That's how much I was trying to control myself. And then via WhatsApp, this guy is super sweet, extremely nice in person. So maybe I would see him like once a week and he would be really nice. He would be super sweet, really friendly, had a great sense of humor. Like our conversation just flowed, like it was never really awkward with him. Like he knows how to keep a conversation going. We never really talked about anything deep or stuff like that, but we were just like the conversation would flow. And then on WhatsApp, I started noticing a couple of weeks later after we had started knowing each other that he had this tendency of not getting back to me. So, like, I would send him a text or ask him something or remind him of something, and then he would just like not get back to me. The first instance that he did this, we met in person because we had that common activity. And then he told me that, on weekend he's going to this specific event, yada yada, and he's going to be doing some creative stuff. And we are both creatives. And I think that's another thing that I really liked about him, that we are both creatives. And so we share that in common. Excuse me. And that's something that we really talk about. And so he shared with me when I saw him in person that, the following weekend, he was going to this event and he was going to do some creative stuff. Okay, cool. The next couple of days we chatted on WhatsApp. And then when we were just like wrapping up the conversation, I had said to him, enjoy like doing the creative stuff, like at the event that he had mentioned. And he left me hanging. He left me on red and didn't say anything. Now, that type of statement, because it was a statement on my part, it wasn't a question, it doesn't necessarily require a response. When someone says, enjoy yourself, or good luck, or have a great day, it's not a question. It doesn't necessarily require a response, but it's sort of rude for someone to say, hey, good luck, and for you to just keep quiet. It's kind of weird, especially via text, because maybe in person I will see you nod or smile and I would take that as a response. But on WhatsApp, like for me to say, hey, enjoy, like I was like basically wishing him luck, telling him to enjoy himself, to do well with like his creative stuff at the event. And he didn't respond. Okay, I thought that was kind of weird. But I let it go because, again, like he's just a friend, he's just a guy I know through a common activity. So who am I to take it personally? He's not my boyfriend. I left it hanging. And he had actually said that he would send me like his creative work after, like he would go to the event, do his creative stuff, and then he would also share it with me. Plus, he was meant to share with me some of the work we had done together when we saw each other face to face during the week. So he was meant to send me some of the work, and then he said he would share with me his creative work, which obviously he wasn't obligated, but it's something he said he would do. So not only did he not respond to my enjoy yourself, good luck type of text, he also didn't send me any of the creative stuff, for me to look at, just like he promised he would share. Okay, that's fine. He wasn't forced or obligated to send me that. But what he was obligated to send me is the work that he said he would send. He also didn't send me that. So, okay, he leaves me hanging, doesn't say anything, doesn't say thank you to my enjoy yourself text. He doesn't send me some of the work that he had done for the event. And then he doesn't send me some of the work that he actually had to send me because we had done together. So he needed to send me that. Okay. And then the next time I see him in person the following week, I confront him about it, but in like, a joking manner. When you don't really know someone, that well. So you don't want to be like super confrontational because you're just like, okay, I don't want to be like aggressive or something. So I tried to be like chill about it, even though it did annoy me. I asked him, hey, like, you never got back to me, like, jokingly, ha ha ha, why didn't you get back to me? And then he's like, oh, like, my weekend was so busy, I totally forgot about that. And even the work that we had done together the previous week that he was supposed to send me, he completely forgot about that, like, completely. And then with like the creative work he was doing for the event, he then sent me that the following week when I was actually confronting him. Then he's like, oh, yeah, let me send you that. And I didn't even bother asking him why he didn't respond to me saying, hey, enjoy yourself, do well. Because I was like, okay, it's fine. I'm not like his girlfriend. I don't want to be nagging this guy. So let me not even bother like asking him that. And then after that, there were other instances. Like one time, his father was not feeling well. And I told him that like if he needs anything, because like his father and I are actually pretty close. I consider his father to be like my mentor because he's part of like the activity that him and I do. So I'm really close with his father. And then, like his father was not feeling well and he texted me because I think he needed to get something from me. Then he texted me and said, hey, I'm not going to come and get that because like my father's not feeling well. So, I'm just going to keep an eye on him. And then I'm like, oh, okay, I'm sorry to hear that. Let me know if you guys need anything. And then no response. Again, it's the type of text, the type of statement that doesn't necessarily need a response. But isn't it odd? Isn't it a bit strange? Isn't it weird when you offer to help someone? When you say something like that, like, hey, if you need something, let me know. If you need help, let me know. And then a person doesn't even respond. It's kind of weird. He leaves me hanging again. And then I think about a day later, because I was like, okay, let me give him a chance. Maybe he's going to get back to me. Maybe he's just one of those annoying people who like take forever to respond to people. And then I think I gave him like a day or two. And then I came back to him because now I'm thinking, okay, maybe something, terrible has happened to his father. And then I ask him, hey, is everything okay? And then he responds. And even surprisingly, because he usually doesn't respond with a voice note. But that time he actually responded with a voice note and was like, hey, I'm sorry I didn't get back to you. Yeah, dad is doing actually better. Thank you for like, being willing to help. And then I'm like, okay, that's fine. I tried to let it go. I even actually, after that one, I told him like, hey, please don't leave me hanging like that. I thought, let me just be straightforward. So I actually texted him like, hey, I was actually worried. I thought something had happened. Please don't like leave me hanging like that next time. And then he said like, oh yeah, sorry, never. Okay, cool. And then, oh my goodness, I'm not going to mention all the instances, but another instance did happen. And then I got to see him face to face again. And then I confronted him again. And I tried to be chill about it. And I hate this. I hate I hate it when people mistreat you, when people just don't do the right thing, when they exhibit bad behavior. And then you are the one who has to be like, to play it cool because you don't want to seem like you're aggressive. You don't want to seem like you're super confrontational. You don't want to seem like you're nagging. And so again, I tried to like play it cool. And then I was like, you don't respond on WhatsApp. Like, what's up with that? And then like he laughs it off. And in person, he's so sweet. Like he's so cool. He just doesn't seem like the kind of guy who would leave you hanging. He doesn't seem like the kind of guy who would leave you on red. And then, he also just like laughed it off. It's like, I'm sorry, like sometimes I get like, many texts, like, so I end up like some of the messages end up going down and then I respond to the top ones. It was just some lame excuse. That is so lame. That is just so, so lame. Cause like you're making it sound like don't make yourself sound like you what is this place? A call center. Like, don't make your WhatsApp seem like it's a call center and, you just have so many people to respond to that you end up not even seeing some other messages. I don't buy that crap. I don't buy it and I am not for it. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna, take the obviously lame excuse and I'm just gonna let it go. Because again, I'm not your girlfriend and we haven't even really known each other that long. So I don't want to seem nagging. And I think this is just probably something that us as women, we sometimes struggle with because you don't want to seem nagging, like guys always complain about that, like, oh, my girlfriend is nagging me, or my girlfriend always wants to argue, always says this and that, always telling me like this is what I'm doing. So you don't want to come across as nagging. And especially when you're not even his girlfriend. I'm not his girlfriend. I am even barely his friend because we've just only known each other for a couple of months. I doubt that he even considers me to be his friend. He probably just considers me the person that, he does some common stuff with. Okay, so that was like the last time that I actually confronted him. And then it happened again last week. I text him regarding the work that we do because then I told myself, I was like, okay, so because I was actually in a process because I was seeing that he's not really interested in me romantically because he's not making any moves, he's not showing any sign whatsoever that he's interested in me. So I was thinking, you know what, it's fine, I could just have a friend or a brother, out of this guy. So I could just shove my emotions down. That's fine. I was getting to a place where I was just like, trying to suppress. Suppress, maybe not the right word, but let's use it for lack of a better word. I was trying to suppress my romantic feelings for him, and I was getting to a place where I was like, you know what, he's cool, he's a chill guy, he's a sweet guy. It's fine to have him as a friend or as a brother or as like, just like a creative colleague of sorts. And so I told myself after the last time I confronted him about him not responding to me that, you know what, it's fine. I'm not going to speak to him regarding anything except the work that we do. And then last week, I sent him a voice note regarding the work we do and like trying to set up a day where we can meet up. Again, he took forever to respond. He did respond eventually, but he takes unnecessarily long to respond. And he's not even the type of person where you would say he has his data off and, like he doesn't see the message for days. No, his data is almost always on. So most of the time when I send him a message, I get the 2 ticks to show that he actually did receive the message. So whether he read it or not, that's not even the point. The point is that it's not like his data is off. It's not like he doesn't have internet connection. He always has connection. And then he takes his time to get back to me and then he's like, yo, yeah, that's fine. Like that day is fine. And another thing, like when we are together, this guy is actually strange. And that also annoys me because I've been in a phase, I've been with a guy rather, who was a mystery. Like I hated where I hated where I'm when I'm in a position where I feel like I'm trying to figure this guy out. I'm trying to understand him. This guy that like really broke my heart, and that one I was in a quote unquote relationship. One of those relationships where he didn't really say I was his girlfriend. He didn't really say we were in a relationship, but in a way we were. That guy would do things like where I found myself in a position where I was trying to figure him out because I wanted to get to know him and I wanted to please him and I wanted to get to his attention. Like he would do things like, like not posting on WhatsApp. And I don't even think the hiding option was there at that time. And like I would have to like I don't even want to go there. That story, like that guy actually just he broke me. He broke me, right? And part of it was me feeling like he was a mystery to me. And I think that was also part of like his game where like, he was just like, I don't know, just trying to be this mysterious guy and keeping me always just trying to figure him out and asking him questions. And I just don't want to ever do that again. I don't want to be in a space where I feel like I'm trying to figure you out. Just be transparent, okay? You don't have to tell me your whole life story and your secrets, but I hate it when I feel like you are a mystery. Like you're not supposed to be a puzzle. Like please don't be a puzzle. Like I don't have that time. I don't have that energy. There's a lot going on in life. There's a lot going on in my life. I don't have the time to solve a puzzle of a human being. And so those are the vibes that I'm getting with this current guy. On in person, he's great. We talk. And then we get on WhatsApp and he's like, those people who respond in like short sentences, almost like they don't even have time to really respond to you. In person, he's super enthused about the work we do. And then like on WhatsApp, he doesn't even seem like, he's enthusiastic. Like his responses are super short. Like the kind of short I'm talking about. The responses that are short in a way that is kind of like dismissive. When someone is like, okay, let me just respond to them so that they will leave me alone. His responses feel like that. So not only is it rude of him to like not respond to me at certain times, but also it feels very dismissive when he does respond because he responds in like short sentences or like one word or whatever. And so like after that one, and this was like last week when I sent the voice note and I said a bunch of things, okay? And then one of the last things that I said was like, okay, can you confirm which day you will be available for us to do this? And when he responded, he just said, hey, this day works. Like he only responded to the part about the day. So I say everything else in the voice note and the only part like, no, I'm not a kid anymore. I'm not in my 20s anymore. I'm just not, I'm not in the playground anymore. And if he's in the playground, suit himself, let him play alone. I am not there anymore. Let him play with other kids. I've moved up in life. I really have. And it's not easy. I'm trying to be a grown up. I'm trying to grow, but I'm just not longer there. I hate playing mind games. And it's weird to me. It's weird to me that this guy feels like he's playing some mind games where he's sort of like just leaving me on red, leaving me hanging. But when I'm with him in person, he doesn't seem interested in me. And not like in a bad way. Like he seems like he sees me as a friend or as a sister. He's nice to me, he's not rude to me. But it's weird the way he treats me on WhatsApp as if I'm like one of I don't know, one of his girls who are like after him. It's weird. It's just weird. I don't know how else to explain it. But anyway, after that, after he responded to my voice note, I decided, I was like, you know what? I'm done with this guy. I am done because the type of work we do, it's not like something contractual. Like we don't have a contract signed. It was just something to keep us busy because, we both currently not working. And so I even decided that, you know what, even with our creative stuff, I'm done with that. I'm done with talking to him on WhatsApp. I'm done with him. And like my heart is broken because I really did like him. And not only romantically, because I still did like him romantically, but I was also starting to see like a friend or a brother, especially since we have like, a common interest in creative stuff. So I thought like it would really be fun to have someone to do that with, to talk to about. And I'm currently at a position where I don't have friends. And so there was also just the hope of like at least having a friend, if he was never going to be my boyfriend. But like having a friend, having someone, to do stuff with. And after that, I decided, you know what, I'm done with this guy. I even canceled. We were actually supposed to meet this week. And then I just gave some reason that something is happening at home. I'm not going to be able to make it, because now I'm trying to limit even us seeing each other face to face, because he's very confusing. It's very confusing to me that he's actually nice in person, and then on WhatsApp he does all this and doesn't even like. And the fact that I've confronted him about it, like in the past I would just be unhappy about something and not really confront someone, or I would be passive aggressive, or I would just not handle it in a good way. But I feel like with this guy I did show some growth. I did try to handle it in a really cool, calm way. I did try to be an adult about it, like address it, but also stay calm. And still, he made no attempt to change the way, he responds, or, how he responds or not responding, whatever. Like he made no attempt to change his behavior. And so after I decided that, like my heart broke. I think my heart broke because, yes, I liked him romantically, but it also broke because, like I was starting to have like a friend. I was starting to have someone to share like my creative stuff with, and, seeing him being, like having this kind of split personality where he's nice in person and not so nice, rude, because it's actually rude to leave someone hanging on WhatsApp. I feel like people make that seem normal because it's via text. But imagine if you were talking to someone in real life and they just kept quiet. Wouldn't that be strange? Wouldn't that be weird? And most importantly, wouldn't it be rude? How many of us have considered people to be rude when we greet them and they don't respond? That's rude. So the fact that he has left me hanging on WhatsApp multiple times, and I told him about it, I asked him not to do it, and he continued to do it, it's just rude. Completely rude. And so my heart is broken. Yeah, my heart is broken. The past couple of days, I've just been feeling like I just went through a breakup. And I think it's even weird that I feel like that, but I actually feel like I've just been through a breakup. My heart is really broken. I'm really sad that the relationship, whether it was going to be romantic, whether it was just going to be a friendship, but my heart is sad that it did not work out the way that I had hoped. And I didn't even take like the time. Like I don't even think this deserves the energy for me to write him or tell him that, hey, I think I'm not gonna hang out with you anymore. I'm not gonna do like our creative stuff with you anymore because you like leave me hanging or you've been rude. No. I have learned that there are just certain people, there are certain situations that you just need to step away from, and you don't need to write an essay about. You don't need to declare it. You don't need to get up on a podium and explain why you're going to distance yourself. This is one of those times. And the fact that I'm on this healing journey, I know that in some cases it's really important to have those conversations. It is an adult thing in some cases to let the other person know why you are stepping out of the relation, especially if it's a romantic relation. Like if this guy and I were dating, I would definitely tell him why I'm backing away from the relationship, or why I'm leaving him or dumping him. But since we were just friends, maybe not even really friends, we're just people working together, honestly, the type of relationship we had doesn't deserve an explanation. So, no, I'm not going to tell him that, hey, I'm just going to step away from. No, he doesn't deserve that. He really just doesn't. Plus, he's been very rude. So, like, he doesn't deserve anything from me. But still, my heart is broken. My heart is broken over a relationship that didn't even really happen. My heart is broken over a guy that I've known for a couple of months, but my heart is broken. This week I've been feeling like I'm just going through a breakup and my heart is aching. It is aching. And I think part of taking rejection so personally is that I still care what others think of me. And I think rejection has always felt like I lack something, like I'm not good enough. And a part of that is true, like, yes, I am good enough. And I don't think I lack anything that, this guy was like, okay, she lacks this. It's not really like that. I am enough. I am worthy. I'm beautiful. I'm smart. But it is true in the sense that when you when you are dating or looking for someone to date, there are obviously people you're not gonna date because maybe they're not good looking enough for you, you know? That's not a lack on their part, but that's just your preference. So when I say that a part of like me maybe lacking something or not being good enough is true, it's not in a way as to undermine myself. It's not coming from low self esteem. It's coming from the fact that sometimes when we are looking at people, there are just certain things we don't like about them. That doesn't make the other person, less than. It just means I have a preference. So I think for me, the reason that rejection always hits me so hard is because I feel like, okay, I lack something. But the part of that is true is the fact that maybe I do lack something. Maybe I'm not as pretty as the guy would have wanted me to be. That doesn't mean I'm not beautiful. That doesn't take anything away from how I look. It just means that his preference is someone who looks maybe better than me or different than me or however. Like I that's just a fact. Like I want to be honest with myself that yes, I'm smart enough, yes, I'm pretty enough for me. I have to admit that for myself, but that doesn't mean everybody's going to think I'm smart enough. For some people I'm just not going to be smart enough, and that's their preference. It really doesn't say anything negative about me. It just means that somebody else prefers someone who is smarter than me or looks different than me or, has a different personality than mine. And so for me, the reason I've always taken rejection personally is that, I've also had a hard time admitting that, yeah, I'm not going to be everyone's choice. I'm not going to be everyone's preference. Like there are just things that other people are not going to like about me, but it doesn't mean I'm not good enough. It just means I'm not for that person. And also, rejection is a trigger for me from what has happened and continues to happen in my family. I did notice that with this guy, with me feeling like I'm going through a breakup with this guy that I was not even in a relationship with. It is a trigger of like what has happened within my own family because my own mother, my own family has emotionally rejected me. And even though it didn't seem like it, and even to other people, it might not seem like it, but the emotional disconnect and distance, and even the emotional abuse that I've endured from my family has been a big part of feeling rejected by my own family. And so I do think I am easily triggered when I am rejected and I don't take the time to rationalize it, to be logic about it. But I just, it hits that spot, of like feeling like I'm not enough, feeling like I'm not accepted, feeling like I'm not loved. And so rejection is also a bit of a trigger for me. Another thing that I think I realized is that rejection ruins my fantasies because I already had fantasies of this guy and I, whether being involved romantically or being like creative friends. Like I had my fantasies about how our relationship was going to be. And, since he has sort of like rejected me by him being an asshole, being a freaking jerk, he has ruined my fantasies. So I think that's another thing that, like, in my mind, I already had like a storyline of how our relationship is supposed to go, whether we were just friends or whether we were lovers. I already had like a storyline in my head. And so with him rejecting me, it ruined my fantasies or my plans in my head. That just goes to show that I need to live a little bit more out of my head, because I live in my head for most of the time. Also, I think another thing, I'm just lonely. I think that's why I'm probably heartbroken by a relationship that didn't even happen. I mean, I don't really have friends. My family and I are not really emotionally close. Physically, oh, we are so close. But emotionally, I just don't have that connection, and I don't have friends, and I'm currently unemployed. I don't really have much going for me right now. I'm lonely. I'm lonely, and having this thing for this guy made me realize that I kind of miss being in a relationship, I kind of want to be in a relationship. And also I think maybe rejection also strikes a nerve in terms of what else I have going for me, or more accurately what I don't have going for me.